Welcome to Bitcoin Talk Talk. Today we're going to start by talking about feedback. This is, in my opinion, the most important portion of the trust system the forum uses, and is something you need to be familiar with. I'm starting here because you can find it by just simply going into certain areas of the forum, so you should understand what you're seeing and why it's relevant. As you can see here are a couple threads in the marketplace section where feedback is displayed by default. You can find it underneath a user's profile. On the left is positive feedback, then there's neutral and negative. If we check another topic from the lending section, you can see a negative feedback in action, as well as a positive and neutral on a certain account. The purpose of this system is discussed here by Thamos under the trust flag system, which was introduced in June. Feedback is the use case number one, and its main purpose is to assist people in understanding whether they would like to trade with somebody or not, or what they could expect if they're about to get involved with a trade with somebody based on past experience other users have had. The feedback you are seeing is default trust feedback, which I'm going to get into in a later video, but a short definition of that would be, it's a random grouping of users who meet certain criteria and are selected. The list for default trust 1 is 100, and people in their trust list fall into default trust 2. You will see all these feedbacks until you begin to create your own trust list and delete default trust. This is a topic that was created by Lois V in the beginners and help section, and it goes into the entire trust system. We're only focusing on feedback at the moment, but it is right near the top. I definitely suggest coming in and checking it out, as he has all the points I'm going to discuss here with you, but you can read them, you can interact with them, and then you can check it out whenever you need to reference back and understand if you're following the guidelines. I will say that feedback is not moderated, but just like everything else on the forum, it is possible to misuse the system, and it does happen a lot. So say you want to check somebody's feedback. To do so, you would click on their profile. That brings up the profile page here. Go to Trust, and you can see the feedback they've been left. This is also the same way you would go about leaving a certain person feedback. So now that you understand what trust feedback is for, there's a lot more to it than just looking at the numbers. There's a couple points I really want you to understand. When you see feedback left under an account, it is still up to you to perform your own due diligence. Click on the trust, read the feedback that's been left so that you can understand it. Now we're going to go into a portion of why leaving accurate feedback is extremely important. Again, this is covered below by Lois V. You can click here on my main account, and you can see the feedback that I've been left. So I've made several trades with individuals, and they've left me accurate comments. And if you click on this reference, it should go to where me and the pharmacist decided to make a deal. As you can see, there's a thread, it's accurate, and you can understand exactly what took place. The same goes for the Notabot account. If I click here to bring up its profile, I can click on the trust. I left a reference and accurate comment as to why I left a negative. References are just simply taking a link to provide a message that backs up the feedback you are leaving, such as this one here. So Notabot is going to leave Steamtime some feedback. I will go down to the bottom here, and I will be leaving a neutral. And simple as that. Now, you will always see your feedback available under trusted feedback. The reason for this is you would leave feedback that you would find relevant for yourself. And if you're using the system properly, other people may find value in that and add you to their trust list, which we will get into later. So as you've seen, we've covered leaving an accurate comment, leaving an accurate reference to reflect the comment so that anyone looking into it would understand what has happened and why. Now there's one thing that we're going to cover here in Lois's guide, and I cannot overstate this. It happens quite often, but you need to be the bigger man. Retaliatory feedback is pointless. It doesn't help anybody out. If someone left you a negative, I would suggest, if you disagree with it, leaving them a neutral comment to that effect, stating that their feedback is baseless. People can tell for themselves, but if you feel you have to do something, a neutral is the best way to go. Leaving retaliatory red feedback, especially if it has nothing to do with a trade, is pointless, and it will just make your use of the feedback system look ineffective. So I'm going to wrap up the video there. And hopefully this gives you a good base for how to use the feedback system appropriately. And I will link the threads that Thamos created as well as Lois V's beginner's guide.